You are watching the Voice of Change channel, touching lives through music and message.
And now on the Voice of Change channel and on Facebook, with an extra special feature, the last in the series of Love Without End.
Good evening. Thank you so much for watching Love Without End. We know some of you have watched all 10 programs. We know some of you have watched 1 or 2. We know some of you have been sharing the programs. We want to thank you for every watch, every share. Please do feel free to share these programs. We've had great joy in making them, and they are for the entire world to enjoy and for the entire world to draw strength and hope, especially for these very challenging times. This evening, we decided we're going to do something. There are very real people, real experiences behind these songs. So we've brought a few choir members together and they're going to share their Love Without End experience. But before we meet them, we have a very special competition. We are giving away 2 copies of Love Without End, 1 to one person and 1 to another person, because we're generous like that. What we want you to do is please just share with us anything that you have enjoyed watching throughout this series, why you've enjoyed it, and then I'm going to put it to the choir, which one do we feel deserves, and we'll share all of your experiences, but we'll pick one special one out. So we need you to be creative and come up with something that is going to be that winning line. And then once we've decided, then we will contact you privately, get your personal details wherever you are in the world. We will ship this out to you. So that's the reason why you're here tonight, not just to join us, but because you can get something even more out of it. You didn't expect this, did you? Please enjoy the program tonight as we take you behind the scenes.
I'm joined tonight by Marie, Lorraine, and Everall. Say hello.
Hello.
As you will see, Marie is a Reed and Lorraine is also a Reed. Their respective husbands are not related, so don't read anything into it.
We don't think they're related, right, Marie?
No, they're from the same area in Jamaica, but no, we don't think they're related.
Yeah.
Well, we're just going to share our experiences of our Love Without End experiences. I couldn't believe that it's actually 2009 that this project was actually conceived. That's 11 years ago. Errol, you must have been about 6 at the time. Is that right?
11 years. About.
So how many of you actually recorded with us at the time? I can't remember. So, Marie, you didn't.
I did.
I
So
didn't.
Errol recorded their project at the time. Lorraine, were you with us at the time recording the project, or?
Yeah, I was with you. They'll ask me about my memories of that, but I was definitely with you. I was about 2 years old at that point.
All right. Okay. And I must say, you've matured really quickly. You know, that's really, really great.
She's a big baby, yeah.
Well, this project was first conceived in 2009 because the worldwide denomination to which we belong, which is the Seventh-day Adventist Church, had attributed that year as a year of evangelism. So, when we say the word evangelism, what does that mean to you? Break it down. When you hear the word evangelism, what kind of comes to mind?
Spread the
But
word.
for me, it would be telling what you have heard, what you have seen, stuff that basically to be true.
Yeah, I think it's basically spread the word. So it's not to just sit idly and keep the message to yourself. You've got to get it out there about what you know. So similar to what Everett was saying, get that message out there to as many people as possible.
Great.
For me, I would say it's sharing news about something, good news. People evangelize all the time, whether or not they're Christians or, they may be trying to sell a particular product or whatever it is, but they're sharing something that they personally think is beneficial and will help somebody else. So yeah, that's what it means to me.
Great. And of course, you did a program, didn't you, called Peace Program? And are you going to break down the acronym for somebody like me when I reached 16 last year and my memory went? So the acronym...
The acronym has changed a couple of times.
Okay.
But I could tell you the premise of the program. So it was basically 4 months long, and it's where we learnt about evangelism, how to share our faith with different people, going into the community and being of service to the people in the community, and just sharing the love of God and sharing things from the Bible with them if they wanted to know.
Brilliant. And Errol, as people can hear your accent, it's pretty obvious that you are that you're British because you speak perfect Queen's English. That you're obviously from Jamaica, and I know that you were involved in we're not politically correct or diverse on this because I think we all have Jamaican origins. Oh, my father was born in Cuba, so I think that can pass.
Right, he's a neighbor, yeah.
but you were involved. Could you tell us a little bit about what you were involved in? Because you were involved in something called Maranatha. It was a television series, isn't it, in Jamaica?
Yes. Yeah, so Maranatha was we used to take up the program around to events, churches, telling them about the good news really through music and dramatized in a very orchestrated way.
Yeah,
because we used to have a musician named Andrew Marshall. That's
Andrew Marshall.
But the program was of such that it brings people closer to God. I don't know how to explain it, but it's a harp, a mansion, and a crown. So it's out of this world. It's gone into the future of what we're striving to go to.
Yeah.
To heaven. So and being with God and everything, all that goodness.
Wow.
That you can, when you hear about the gospel and what it entails and how God wants to pull us and take us home with him. Oh, I would love to be there.
That's great, because the word Maranatha is two Greek words, which means our Lord is coming again, and that's after Jesus left. People at the time used to use that expression. They know our Lord is on his way.
Love Without End is an album of songs, and these programs are about the songs themselves. The songs are the center point of these programs. Songs consist of music and words, and my role in the program has been to explain the inspiration behind both the words and the music in the songs. But the important thing for us in presenting this program was helping the viewers to understand the context within the gospel story of the songs. And there was no better person to deliver the deeper messages behind the songs than one of our bass singers, David Billett. David has an excellent speaking voice. He has presence, he has wit, he has excellent sense of engagement and storytelling. He has insight and depth, but he's really clued up with the 21st century mind, how people think in the 21st century. He does a lot of study and research on science and how that relates to creation viewpoints and so forth. And he was just perfect to put across these messages. One of the most poignant moments across the entire series was when he presented a poem that he had penned for his late mother. We're going to play that poem in full in the next part of our program before we play that particular song, because it's worth hearing. But here is a little snippet of it.
We didn't think it would end like this. We thought God would pull her through. We planned for her recovery, you see. I mean, isn't that what faith would have us do? We didn't want to hear that God knows best or that he would help us stand the test. That was our mother lying there, and without her, life seemed so unfair.
That's really touching. You want to hear the whole poem a little later. It's so moving, and we will be playing it.
We'll be back after the break.
It's finally here? Yes, it's finally here. Join Live from London Christmas, a new online festival for a series of celebratory concerts put on by Voces 8 Foundation and friends. These concerts run from the 1st of December to the 6th of January, with performances by Rachel Podger on the 1st of December, Voces 8 and the Aeolians on the 5th of December, Apollo 5 on the 6th of December, the Tallis Scholars on the 12th of December, Take 6 and London Adventist Chorale on the 13th of December, the Choir of Westminster Abbey on the 15th of December, Amarcord on the 19th of December, and Nuna on the 20th of December, Voces 8 on the 23rd of December, E. Fagellini on the 24th of December, and Gabrieli Consort and Players on the 25th of December through the 6th of January. Tickets are available now at voces8.foundation/live from London. Don't you miss it.
So, Love Without End, that is my favourite song on the album. It's the first song, and it's the song that I personally never tire of singing. Anytime I hear that we'll be singing this song, I actually get really excited. I mean, how can you ever get tired of singing about God's love? This song tells me of a love like no other, and love that I will never ever experience. It tells me of a love of someone who comes after me. Even though I may stray, or no matter how I treat him, he continues to seek after me. He continues to call me to him. And for me, it's, as I said, it's unlikely that you will ever, or I will ever experience that type of love outside of the love of God, because only God can love me and you like that. And so for me, it's a joy to continue singing Love Without End time and time again.
Thank you very much. That's Sharon Semple, one of our sopranos.
Great. Well, as part of Love Without End, this particular production that we wanted to do it originally, actually everybody being together in the same space and using different cameras, different camera angles and so forth, everybody being in the same space. But of course, 2020 had different plans for our lives. So we decided that we were going to do it online, take advantage of doing whatever we can, sharing this good news online. So I came up with the crazy idea that everybody should send in videos of themselves. So Marie, how did you find that experience of sending a video of yourself? Because I remember you sent in one, and I'm thinking this is a really interesting angle, because it was like you were like this, and I was like, okay, it looks really interesting. So I had to do a little bit of editing to actually turn you the right way around. I'm saying this is a really clever trick. I'm going to get her to try to imitate it live, stand on the wall or something like that.
I was like, I enjoyed playing around with it, and I remember I spent, I think, 2 lunchtimes, because I've been working from home, dressing up in different outfits, trying different things, putting the music on, and it was like I was having a concert in my house. It was fantastic. So I just thought, right, I've done one song, I might as well just do another one, and on it went. And then before I knew it, I'd done the whole album. But I really, really enjoyed it. Singing again, it had been quite a while since I'd sung,
right.
Because we obviously stopped doing choir practice. So to then start singing again, it was actually quite nice. And I thought, oh, this is good. I've missed this. You don't realise how much you miss singing until you haven't done it for a while and you come back to it. So I really enjoyed sending in those videos, even with the funky angles and stuff like that.
They look great. Well, part of what we did, we wanted to actually have people sharing personal experiences. And in the song, It Was God, Lorraine shared a personal experience. So let's just watch that right now.
It was late one Sunday night and I was driving home from my best friend's wedding. I was about 5 minutes from the motorway when my car started to drive a bit funny and I heard a weird sound coming from the back wheel. So I pulled over and I called the AA. When the AA got there, the man went to the back wheel of my car. He put his hand on the wheel and the wheel just fell off into his hands. Now, I can't repeat the words that came out of his mouth at that point. But one of the things he did say was that in all his career, and he was quite an old man, in all his career, he had never seen anything like this before, where the wheel just fell off into his hands. And he said if I had continued to drive with that on the motorway, obviously I wouldn't be able to give this testimony today. And one of my favorite choir songs is a song called It Was God. It wasn't a stroke of luck that I happened to pull over at the time that I did. It wasn't a coincidence. It was God.
So wow, Lorraine, so have you remembered to carry all 4 wheels with you this time? That must have been a really scary experience, actually, just thinking about that. What could have been? What could have been? It's
Yeah. I mean, there is no way I could put that down to anything other than God. You know, sometimes as human beings, we like to think that we have total control over things, and we can say, oh yeah, I know where that happened. Well, I did that, so I made that happen, or someone else did that. But when that wheel came off in that man's hand, I was just, I can't even speak. That's how I was. That's how he was, actually, because he was just so surprised. And everything that happened after that, it took hours and hours to get back to London. I was actually in, I think I was in Reading. It took ages. I think I got back home to London at about 4 o'clock in the morning, but I didn't care. I didn't care because of what I knew could have happened. I was just so thankful and so grateful that just 5 minutes before I hit the motorway, that I pulled over.
Very good.
Yeah.
Wow. So we really thank God for intervening, and that you are with us today to be able to actually share that particular story. That's wow, that's scary. Well, one of the songs, a key pivotal song that we first introduced in this project was a song called He Still Loves You. So we're going to talk about that in just a moment. But I'm going to go back to Everall, because He Still Loves You is a song which features Marie's particular story. But Everall, do you have a favorite song in the Love Without End project?
Right. In the Love Without End project,
songs that you like. I know sometimes putting you on the spot saying, is it one song?
Right. It was God. That song, especially talking about the hardship that you may go through, and then God bring you into a better place or provide something better. That really speaks to me and encourages me.
I'm going to let you into a little secret. Many of these songs are inspired by real life stories. Okay. And I recall something that you said to somebody once, and that line stuck with me. I won't share what it was. But it was that thought of something that you shared with somebody. It wasn't something private and secret that I'm not allowed to say it here in public, but it was just something profound that you said. And that was part of an inspiration behind the concept of It Was God.
Wow.
So so you were part of your story was part of inspiration, things that I had in mind when I was writing some of the verses of the song. So I see you later. We'll discuss royalties. But it's serious. We think of real life experiences and for me to write these songs, I had to dig really deep. I remember somebody who said in the choir rehearsal, he said, "Ken, you must have gone through some stuff to have written these songs." And I mean, I couldn't necessarily put my finger on anything particular that I was going through at the time, but definitely I drew on a lot of life experiences. Now, I think one of the first songs I introduced, if not the first song I introduced, was a song called He Still Loves You. And I think that's where I decided to call the project Love Without End, because I like the idea of the gospel, being like a love story, relationships and so forth, because that resonates with everyone. Everyone knows about love, and, the story of love resonates with everyone. So we're now just going to see Marie's testimony, her experience about He Still Loves You, and what this song meant to her.
Following the tragic death of my mother at the beginning of 2007, I lost all hope in life itself. I left the church. 2 years later, I was sitting at my desk at work, and a choir member sent me the lyrics to this new song they were doing. He Still Loves You was the title. And I read it reluctantly, and I got to the part that said, "Wherever you are, whatever you've done, don't be afraid to come. He still loves you. There's nothing too great, nothing too big that he won't be willing now to forgive. He still loves you." Instantly, that hit me, and I came back, and my choir family welcomed me back with open arms.
Wow, Marie, that was really, really moving. And what's interesting, before I come to you, is that in your testimony that you just shared, you said that, you had sort of taken time away from the church. But, I wrote that song recognizing that there are people who may not take time away from the church, who actually may come week after week, might be on the stage, might be in prominent positions, doing prominent things, looking like they've got it all together, but their heart sometimes is in a similar place to what you find yourself, although they come. But you said, okay, well, how I honestly feel, I don't really want to be in that space right now, whereas others, they are in that space, but thinking the same way. So, you really, really thankful for your honesty. I mean, just speak us through that moment. I mean, you shared it in your testimony, but I asked choir members to keep the testimonies kind of really, really short and bite-sized. So can you just sort of expand on that moment when that email came through?
Well, I think for me, I'd gone through a period of, after losing my mum, I came back to church, did all the things that I was supposed to do, active in ministry, but I just didn't feel anything. I was kind of numb. So I felt like I was just doing the duty of going to church, being in the choir, singing the songs, closing your eyes during the prayer. Literally, I felt robotic. I had no feelings whatsoever. And I just thought, this is long. I'm just going to just leave. So I left. And after about a year, this email came in with these words. And I remember kind of partially almost rolling my eyes like, what's this about? And I remember vividly sitting at my desk reading the words, wherever you are, whatever you've done, don't be afraid to come. The word still jumped out of the screen. He still loves you. And I just thought, that's about me. The choir are doing this song at the moment. That's actually written for me. And the next week I went to church and that was it. It was, the choir was so open arms. It's funny because a lot of the songs explain my experience. So you can come in and, on another one of the songs, and then I Long for the Day. It's like the whole album literally just embraced me and just brought me back in, and it was just wonderful.
Wow, I'm sort of speechless hearing that, really, because you just never know. One never knows what. You hope that it will reach out to somebody, but you never know who it's going to be. And sometimes you're always thinking of the person, sometimes in church we use this language, everybody out there, and so we are some kind of, we're in a little bubble. We speak to everybody, but actually realizing actually we're all human beings and we all go through, it doesn't regardless of whether we're attending church on a regular basis or not, that we're all going through the same things. And sometimes what you think you are writing for somebody who is maybe,
out there, you're writing for somebody closer to home. And with that thought in mind, we'll take a short break. See you in part 3.
Love without end.
The enemy is on the rampage, seeking who he may devour.
10 songs telling the story of the gospel, from beginning to end, with love at the center.
I said a little something for you.
With songs such as It Was God, The Final Word, Love Without End, Teach Me, and more. This is a must for your music listening. This is a must for your life.
Available on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube Music, and many more.
First soprano in the choir. So, this whole pandemic has just turned everything upside down. But one of the things that has really amazed me has been the creativity that I've seen come out of this situation, where people haven't allowed it to keep them down. They've been down and they've had their tough times, and then they've bounced back with something that was amazing. So I was actually a little bit skeptical when Ken came to us with this suggestion. Wasn't quite sure how it was going to work. Wasn't quite sure how we were going to be able to put it together with good quality. I had to stack up some boxes and then some books to make sure that I had the right, level, put my phone on my iPad just like that to make sure that it was in the right place. But it worked, and it all came together. And I have been so impressed when seeing the finished product, and it has just, you know, blessed me. So I hope it has blessed you as well, and I hope and pray that you have a wonderful holiday season, and that very, very soon we will be able to sing and minister to you in person at some point. Take care.
And that's our soloist on The Final Word, Gwyneth Johnson.
Well, thanks once again for joining us for this pre-Love Without End presentation of All Songs Talk. And I'm here with Marie Reed, Lorraine Anderson Reed, and Everil Dixon. Now, we had a lot of fun doing these videos. We had to learn very quickly how to become producers. So here is our choir leader, Dorielle, sharing her experience about her recording for Love Without End.
Hi everyone, my name is Dorielle. At first it was a little sad that we couldn't get together as a family, a choir family, and to be able to have our rehearsals. And we didn't only used to rehearse, we used to tell each other about what's happened to us in the week, and we used to have a good time. But actually, being online hasn't been too bad either. When we started to do rehearsals again on Zoom, we were able to fellowship with each other, although at a distance, but still, we were having a good time. And so we were thinking, what can we do as a choir? And Ken came up with this suggestion. And so when we decided, let's get on with this, and I then said, let me do my videos. So I set up everything, set up my camera, had the music ready and that, and then I began to sing. So I sang my song and everything, and then at the end I said, let me have a listen. I hadn't pressed record. So I had to go and do it all over again, but it was fun. And I just hope that the series that we have put out, that you have enjoyed them and that it has been a source of help to you all. And I just want to say, and I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas holiday.
Wow, that's the oldest trick in the book, recording without pressing record. Lorraine, you look like an expert. Okay, you've got a lovely lounge behind you and everything like that. So you look like a real expert in all of this, and your videos look so nice and so it must have been an easy task for you. Come on, tell me it was easy. Tell me it was easy.
Well, I'm an expert now. I'm an expert now, but it definitely wasn't the case. So I remember when I first got your message, Ken, and I was really excited because at this point, I was missing the choir. I was missing just doing normal things, singing. And I thought, yes, this is the project I can get stuck into. The first couple hours was just trying to figure out what to wear. It's almost like I forgot how to dress nicely during lockdown, because when you're not going anywhere, it's just like, well, what do you put on? But anyway, it took ages to figure that out. And then it was about finding the right location in the house to record, the lighting, all sorts of things. My phone running out of battery halfway through the song, or running out of space. It was like, it was a slight nightmare, if I'm honest with you. But once I got the hang of it, it was absolutely fine, because I was able to learn from past mistakes. And then it became quite easy. And now I'm an expert, and that's why I have a lovely lounge behind me.
Great. So you're available for weddings and birthdays.
Yep.
And so we'll be calling upon your services when we need somebody to come and film. We look forward to the Oscar Awards, and we hope that you win. Now, one thing that choir members were asked to do was to actually use, this is our little trick actually, but it's out in the open now, so I can share it. These different backgrounds that we use is achieved by using what's known as chroma key technology. So when you put a screen behind you, a green screen. Now, Everil, I'm coming to you next, because I particularly remember, Everil, that the videos, and sometimes in the editing process, all of a sudden, where's everyone? Everyone's gone missing, and then we're thinking about adjusting something like that. So, and I know that you made some improvised contraption in your house. Talk about that improvisation. You're a man of great resources. So, how did you set up your recordings, your own film studio in your home? What were the? Give us a blow by blow. How a 101 how to do your own film studio.
Well, it all started when I came home and I had to set up for this recording, and we got a small little green screen. And I'm thinking, how can I make this so that I can have my laptop in front of me and the camera and everything? So I remember, oh, there's a step ladder. And I've got some elasticated attachment cord. And I've got two poles, two wooden poles. Let's see what I can do with that. And I rigged it up, placed the laptop on it, and it worked. It was, I had my stool, I set my backdrop, and everything was like, this is the deal. And I even shared with you guys what it's like. But now I've invested, I've got a tripod so I can put my phone in. And I have some other ideas, but I won't tell you yet. I'll show you when it is all done. So the studio is coming together.
Amazing.
Long term, because this could be the next way of worshiping, or way of just being a church, or making ourselves be there. So we just have to improvise and see what we can do.
That's a really important thing you've just said there, because we could have waited till the ideal situation. But when I heard that this virus has declared a pandemic and saw that the country was likely to shut down and people were likely to be locked down, I did a little bit of research into what does it mean to be locked down and so forth. And then I thought, how can we make the best use of resources? And, I said to the choir in advance, way before we'd encountered this corona virus pandemic, that online is really the way forward. And Rain has been absolutely brilliant as our social media manager, and she deserves applause of a round. And she's been absolutely brilliant in keeping our Facebook and Instagram. So we just thought, okay, what can we do and how can we use it? And what everyone said is just right. We need to think, how can we actually make use of these technologies in more effectively, even when we hope all this thing's over, when we're meeting back, but there are effective things that we can actually do. Great. Well, our time is kind of well spent. So, Marie, you've been sitting there quiet for a while.
Unusual.
Apparently you have a liking for a song Longing.
The harmonies, like the alto harmonies, are like the best thing in that. And when I sing that song, I really feel like I'm being transported. I mean, the words say we long for the day, but the harmonies in the chorus just feels like I'm just lifting higher and higher up into some sort of, maybe into God's arms. It just feels wonderful to sing, and I can't help smile when I sing those harmonies. How did you put those harmonies together?
It's beautiful. I mean, the thought really of the comfort of heaven, and the idea of almost looking into the future and slightly almost daydreaming about heaven a little bit. So I wanted to have a harmonic structure and use harmonies which felt like they were, like somebody was just relaxing and just in their chair and sitting back and just thinking about life calmly, and thinking about, in the midst of all this trouble and this turmoil, but we have this sort of sense of calm. And close harmonies do that really well, because they give a feeling of warmth. And when we're used to close harmonies, hearing a lot of close harmonies, music on film scores at Christmas, or that close harmony singing like the Andrews sisters, at Christmas, which gives that feeling of being at comfort and really, really warm. It achieves that kind of thing. So I really wanted that sound for people to have a sense of assurance and calmness about this. Now, I did share when I was talking about the song that there was somebody who said that the ending sounds a bit like I think Mary Poppins. I think. I want to reveal that it's that person below, Lorraine. She said that the ending sounded like something out of, I think, Mary Poppins.
I knew it was Lorraine because Lorraine is Miss Disney. Everybody, she is Miss Walt Disney. Walt S. Disney.
I confess. And that song just reminds me of a Disney themed song. And I love it. I mean, not just because of that, obviously, the words and everything, beautiful. But yeah. Listen to it again, everybody. If you listen to it again, you'll hear what I'm talking about.
Quickly come at the end.
Yes. Yeah. But speaking of calmness, actually, I remember when we were recording that in the studio, and the detail that we had to have, or the time that we had to spend on the very last "Quickly Come." I just remember that it was it just had to be perfect, because it just had to be pure and calming. So that stood out for me.
Yeah, because for the benefit of the listeners, when we record, we'll have a backing track, and sometimes we can have a click track, just going through. So the click track is just the beats, the metronomes, which keeps everybody in time. But because the end of that song, it's not in time, everybody's got to line up what they're doing. And yeah, sometimes you're there guessing, okay, when are we singing next? And then sometimes you sense the nervousness of the singers, because they're like, we don't want to mess this up, we don't want to be that voice that gets there first. Then, so you got to do it a few times, and then you say, right, now we're relaxed, let's just do it now, just feel it, don't think too hard about it. And then it comes, and you all did an amazing job. So thank you very much, for always making yourselves available and for everything that you do, because I get blessed. I derive a lot from what the choir does. It's really a blessing for me. And we say as songwriters that we don't write songs, we just take dictation, because it's something that I believe that the divine, that God is wanting to say through me. And I'm just a vessel, really, because the songs themselves they bless me when I listen to them. And in the ordinary world, somebody might say, well, you like your own song, you're kind of, it sounds like a conceited concept, but because this is not about me, this is a song about, it's from God's word, it's the gospel, it's a message, and it's that message in the Bible, which comforts me in hearing it. Not, I don't hear myself in that, I hear what God is trying to speak to every single human being,
And I just need to add, there's a song, Final Word, and the second verse of that talks about when there will be no more sadness, and no more shall we cry, and death itself shall die, it says. Myself and a fellow alto, Jackie, we always hold hands, and we remember our mums when we sing that, and it's just so powerful. So thank you so much for that song as well.
Great, thank you. Yeah. And yes, I had to give something for Everil to sing, because for those who've never heard Everil's voice, check him out. He's got a rich, powerful voice in the style of like the greats like Paul Robeson and like the singer Whitney Phipps and so forth. And so that ending of Final Word is a real kind of powerful, a big sing. So, Everil, do you have any final thoughts about this whole project or anything of encouragement to offer anybody during these challenging times of lockdown and coronavirus and pandemics?
Well, this coronavirus situation, right throughout lockdown, the Lord has opened a way that I was out working, because it's like I'm I was at the post office working nights while everyone was in, and I didn't feel, for some reason, because I'm out there, I didn't feel fearful that this thing is gonna get me and just pounce on me and spread and make me spread it all to my family. I just felt at peace, at ease. And this album, when you listen to it, some words, some songs really resonate in the way we should, just let God be our guide, let God take over the wheel, so to speak, and let our fears disappear in Him. I just love anything to do with heaven and the thought of going to heaven and living with God. It's just, I just find it in awesomeness, just thinking about it.
That's that's beautiful. That's a very beautiful thought, because that's what we're all about. Is hope, a hope for the future. Yeah. Amazing. Well, thanks very much, everyone. Any closing words, Lorraine, to any COVID encouragement you want to give? Oh, it doesn't have to be COVID, of course.
Well, I mean, when COVID first came on the scenes, I remember actually feeling quite anxious and quite down in the first few weeks, because it was on the news. Everything was about COVID. No matter what channel you turned on, it was about COVID-19, and you just kept hearing all these negative things, and it started to affect me. And then I had to just remember who I believed in and what I believed in, and I draw some comfort and some strength from that, and just remembering that God has my back. And he's here for me, he's here for my family, but also he asks us to cast our cares on him, and at the time, definitely, and still now, COVID is a very big care, I think, for the whole world. So God is asking us to cast our cares on him. The Bible also says we should bear one another's burdens, and that reminded me that I needed to be communicating with people, just checking in on them, and just communicating and making sure that, people within my circle, that they were okay, see if they needed anything. So yeah, I think it's just reminded me to cast my cares on God, check with people to see how they're doing, and listen to Love Without End endlessly.
Thank you so much. And Marie, we're thankful for that email, which brought you back, and that you are with us today. So anything you want to share with anybody about anything?
I think for me, COVID was a case of spiritual preparation, like more focus on the Bible, more prayer, so that I can then go out and help others. So I found so many people that I haven't spoken to for a long time. I went through my WhatsApp chats. I found my late mum's old hairdresser. We were chatting. She then told me that she'd lost several sisters. Her daughter had cancer. So many people going through different things, and people who had lost their jobs and weren't eligible for furlough. I was then able to help them with their CV. So trying to focus on who can I help today was my main focus that helped me get through lockdown, as opposed to, sometimes it's easy to say, oh, well, that's not convenient and this is not convenient. But, when we focus on others, God blesses us. And I really feel that so many people have been like, why have you done that? Spent the time to find this for me. And I'm just like, well, I'm assuming you would do the same for me. And as Christians, we need to not just call ourselves Christians, we need to really act like it, so that people can see the Jesus in us.
Absolutely brilliant. Thank you all very much for joining us. Thank you, Everall. Thank you, Lorraine. Thank you, Marie. And thank you, viewers, for watching. And we're now going to show you all the songs, all the music videos, all the hard work, all the forgotten to press record, all the videos which the phones fell down, all the batteries which ran out, and all the trying to find the right spot and the sun in the right place, etc., etc. So we're going to share that with you just after the break. Thank you so much once again to the team, and remember, he still loves you.
Amen.
It's finally here? Yes, it's finally here. Join Live from London Christmas, a new online festival for a series of celebratory concerts put on by Voces 8 Foundation and friends. These concerts run from the 1st of December to the 6th of January, with performances by Rachel Podger on the 1st of December, Voces 8 and the Aeolians on the 5th of December, Apollo 5 on the 6th of December, the Tallis Scholars on the 12th of December, Take 6 and London Adventist Chorale on the 13th of December, the Choir of Westminster Abbey on the 15th of December, Amarcord on the 19th of December, and Nuna on the 20th of December, Voces 8 on the 23rd of December, E. Fagellini on the 24th of December, and Gabriele Consort and Players on the 25th of December through the 6th of January. Tickets are available now at voces8.foundation/live from London. Don't you miss it.
Tonight, you get to hear each song from the Love Without End series. Over several months, the singer sent in videos and personal stories and found ways of making it all work. It was their desire to bring hope to the world through this powerful message of love.
time ago, I was in a serious car accident. The car was a complete write-off. A lorry had crashed into me on the driver's side, but I came out unscathed. I had no cuts, no bruises. I believe that I was protected by someone who loves me.
And now for the next song, This I Believe.
Where did it start? How did it begin? How did we happen to be? Where are we heading? When will it all end? This I believe. This I believe. I believe I was made by someone who loves me. Someone who loves me. Yes, I believe I was made to give him the glory and to walk in his ways. Yes, I believe that it was for this I was made. When I consider the moon and the stars, the marvelous works of his hand, declaring his glory, his power and love, this I believe. Yes, I believe. I believe I was made by someone who loves me. Someone who loves me. Yes, I believe I was made to give him the glory and to walk in his ways. Yes, I believe that it was for this I was made. I'm not convinced that we're here by chance. God has a purpose. God has a plan. By his grace, by his love, we are sons and daughters of God. I believe I was made by someone who loves me. Someone who loves me. Yes, I believe I was made to give him the glory and to walk in his ways. Yes, I believe that it was for this I was made. Yes, I believe that it was for this I was made. Yes, I believe that it was for this I was made.
I have a son. He's my firstborn, and I haven't seen him for over 3 years. He's had a few rough patches in his very young life, and it makes him stay away. But the chorus of this song is what really touches me and makes me think about him. The door is always open. Come in. Don't stay in the cold. You're still loved and you're still welcome. There is room in the fold. Come in from the cold.
If you feel that you've strayed too far, this next song is for you. Wandering.
stray, going further, further away. It's not a hopeless case. There is no limit to God's grace. Ooh. The door is always open. Come in, don't stay in the cold. You're still loved and you're still welcome. There's still room in the fold. Come in from the You can come in. You can come in. Come in. The door is always open. Come in. You can come in. Come in. You're loved and you're still welcome. Come in, come in, come in. The door is always open. Come You're loved and you're still welcome. Come in from the
And now, your perfect way.
Guide me. This is my prayer today. Please guide me, Lord Jesus, in your perfect way. Lead me, oh, lead me. This is my prayer today. Please lead me, Lord Jesus, in
Can the grave hold him?
Jesus got the victory. Jesus got the victory.
They crucified King Jesus on Friday afternoon. They took his body down off the cross and then they laid him in the tomb. But could the grave hold him? No, no. Could the grave hold him? No, no. Could the grave hold him? Oh, no. Why? Because Jesus has the power over death and the grave. He said, "It is finished," as he breathed his last breath. He bowed his head, closed his eyes, and died a cruel death. But could the death keep him? No, no. Could the death keep him? No, no. Could the death keep him? Oh, no. 'Cause Jesus has the power over death and the grave. Hallelujah. 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 He's got the victory. Hallelujah. Bless his holy name. Early on Sunday morning, just after the rising of the sun, they came to the tomb of Jesus and they saw that he was gone. Hallelujah. You know the grave could not hold him. The grave could not hold him. The grave could not hold him. And death could not keep him. Death could not keep him. Oh, death could not keep him. Why? So we can sing and we can shout, because we know that he's got the victory. Hallelujah. Bless his holy name. He's risen. He's risen. He's risen. Hallelujah. Bless his holy name. He's got the victory.
Up next, the song Teach Me.
In 2017, my husband was diagnosed with cancer. To say that this news was absolutely devastating for my family and myself, this song, Teach Me, took on a completely new meaning. In fact, it became my prayer. It says, "Teach me, Lord, to trust in your wisdom. Teach me to have faith in your decision when I don't understand the reason and I find it hard to see. Teach me, Lord, to trust totally."
We didn't think it would end like this. We thought God would pull her through. We planned for her recovery, you see. I mean, isn't that what faith would have us do? We didn't want to hear that God knows best or that he would help us stand the test. That was our mother lying there, and without her, life seemed so unfair. How would we cope? You mean, who would give us hope? No other plan would do. Yes, we resolved that God would bring her through. "There's nothing more we can do," the doctor said. "Her brain is damaged and she'll never leave that bed. The machine would keep her alive for now, but she was going to die. It was just a case of when and how." So we prayed and we prayed. Lord, you have heard our prayer many times before, and you have opened many a bolted door. But Lord, at this place and time, we have never wanted anything more than the life of our mother that only you can restore. But every day she just got worse and worse. It was as though she was under some kind of curse. The only thing between Mum and her creator was the sound of that wretched ventilator. Finally, we had to call it a day. We could not bear to see our mother this way. We prayed, even now, oh God, you can do the impossible. You can heal, and she can walk out of this hospital. Her life is in your hands now, they said. What do you want us to do? And we challenged them. You do something, or we will sue. Our hope now turned to despair. Why doesn't God do something, we thought? Does he really care? The doctor said it wouldn't take long. Maybe a day, maybe an hour, but the decision wouldn't be wrong. So we prayed one more time and we sang a song. They switched off the machine and there was silence. And then, oh, what a scene. We tugged and pulled at her lifeless limbs. Mum! Mum! Were our cries. Please breathe. Please open your eyes. We searched our whole being, looking for life, holding on to hope. Who amongst us would cope? This isn't what the doctor said. No, no, she can't be already dead. Unto God we unanimously cried. We pleaded, but our desperate cries seemed to be unheeded. In that moment she was gone, and the weight of our grief seemed like a ton. But God said, what do you have to offer? What could we have offered? But more of the same. God is not to blame. God had a better plan. He seemed to say, the cares of this life she must no longer suffer. No more heartache, no more pressure, no more pain, just sweet rest, asleep without measure. This life for her is done. Her new life with me is soon to come. She is in his care. And suddenly, it all seems so clear. The greatest lesson we can learn is to trust God.
I was told as a young child that when trouble comes my way, I should take it to the Lord, and he would hear me when I pray. I was told that his answer would not always be yes. But whatever the answer, it would be for my best. There are times I come Teach me to have faith in your decision. When I don't understand the reasons, when I find it hard to see, teach me how to trust totally. Teach me how to trust totally. Teach me how to trust.
And one of my favourite choir songs is a song called It Was God. It wasn't a stroke of luck that I happened to pull over at the time that I did. It wasn't a coincidence. It was God.
In 2015, I was made redundant after having worked in the same job for many years. Being made redundant after working so long in the same job was very hard for me. I didn't know where to start to find another job. But I had a praying wife, and she helped me find another job eventually. And I know I was blessed with this job. It wasn't a stroke of luck. It wasn't a coincidence. It was someone bigger than you and I. It was God.
Now for the most popular song on the album, It Was God.
There was a time I was in sickness and pain. I'd been to the doctor time and time again. The doctor told me it doesn't look too good for you. But I had a praying family and I pulled through.
Time my funds were running dry, money was getting low, bills were piling high. Then somebody called me right out of the blue and said, felt you might be struggling. I said a little something for you. Tell me who it was. Wanna know who it was. It wasn't really the stars. It wasn't just next to me.
Yes, I know.
It was God.
Yes, I know.
It was God. Somebody bigger than you and I.
He's in control.
He's in control. He reigns on high. I am a living testimony of what God's done for me. I'll trust in Him time and time again.
Time and time again.
Time and time again.
I remember the time I was looking for a new job, and all I seemed to do was fill in another application, attend another interview. And then one morning, a letter came through my door, telling me that I had got a job much better than the job that I had before. I was in love, not a coincidence. It was God. It was God. Oh, no, not in the stars. never knew it was God. It was God. It was God. It was God. No coincidence. Oh yeah. Some say it's written in the stars. Some call it destiny, but I know it was God. Yes, I know it was God. Yeah.
Unmistakably, undeniably, most convincingly, most certainly God. It was God. Unmistakably, undeniably, most convincingly, most certainly God.
It was God.
Was God. Wasn't a stroke like
No, it wasn't.
coincidence.
No. It was God. Yes, it was God.
There's nothing too great, nothing too big that he won't be willing now to forgive. He still loves you.
A song so dear to my heart. He still loves you.
When I refuse to do the things I know He wants me to, when my heart would run astray, so often in my pride I choose the wrong and not the right. Yet I'm still amazed to hear Him say, I still love you. I gave my life for you. Yes, I'm willing to forgive you, and I will give you power. You don't have to walk that road anymore. Come, just come. I will receive you. I still love you. I still love you. Sometimes I feel that I have strayed so far off from His side. His love I really don't deserve. Consumed by guilt and shame, how could I let Him down again? Right now I need to be
is my Disney themed song, Longing.
I long for that day. I long for that place. I long for that moment when I see your face. My heart is yearning for your soon returning, Lord Jesus. Quickly come.
I long for that day. I long for that place. I long for that moment when I see your face. My heart is yearning for your soon returning, Lord Jesus. Quickly come.
This world is filled with beauty. I see it all around me. But in the midst of it all, there's trouble everywhere. I've heard about a city whose maker is God, where peace will reign forever. How I long to be there.
I long for that day.
For that day.
I long for that place. I long for that moment when I see your face.
One day I see your face.
Heart is yearning for your soon returning, Lord Jesus. Quickly come. Come, Lord Jesus, come. Come to take me home where I belong. I long for that day. I long for that place. I long for that moment when I see your face.
Soon I'll see your
Heart
face.
is
My
yearning
heart is yearning for your soon returning, Lord Jesus.
I am longing to see your face. Oh, Jesus.
Death is our enemy. It steals our loved ones away. 4 years ago, death stole my father. 3 years ago, death stole one of my brothers. And almost 3 years ago, death came looking for me. I had 3 life-changing experiences in quick succession, 2 of which could have led to physical disability permanently in my body, and 1 of them which could have led to death itself. However, I'm still here now, smiling, happy, moving, and praising God. Sometimes when I share this experience with others, they say, you were lucky. But I say, no, it wasn't luck. It was through prayer and God answering that prayer in that specific way, because God always has the final word.
A powerful song of who's really in control. Final word.
He'll have the final word. Yes, he will. The final word. When all is said and done, in glory he will come. I know he'll have the last word. The final word.
So many theories and philosophies rejecting the true light, denying God's existence, try to put him out of sight.
The enemy is on the rampage,
Seeking who he may devour.
but his time will be over when Jesus comes in mighty power. He'll have the final word. Yes, he will. The final word. When all is said and done, in glory he will come. I know he'll have the last word. The final word.
Death is our enemy. It steals our loved ones away. There is coming a time, a grand and glorious day,
When there will be no more sadness,
and no more shall we cry.
all sorrow will be over.
to find out how to get the recording of all of the songs in this series, visit croydonscagospelchoir.co.uk.